Welcome everybody to IMAGI-NATION TV, and we're going to round out the theme of the week, which has been initiative. And we were stoked to see yesterday Rianne Miller take initiative and host the show for the first time. So props to Ree, who did a brilliant job yesterday on IMAGI-NATION TV. And from the 1st of June, we're going to see a bunch of different hosts come in to take the stage on the show. We believe fundamentally that a number of people that are looked at sometimes as a problem to be fixed, whether it's kids outside the margins in Australia or around the world, are not a problem to be fixed. They're kids who need a stage to show that there's the solution. So we're pumped to be able to give the stage to a number of young Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in Australia who are going to be able to be hosts, to a couple of our pals in the continent of Africa who will be hosting INTV over there, and also to a couple of friends in the United States. So that's going to happen from the 1st of June, and well done to Rianne for kickstarting it. As we head over to Africa, a quick update, again on the topic of initiative. A young woman by the name of Saru was a mentor for AIM in our program in Kampala in Uganda. She became so inspired that she wanted to take it back home to Zimbabwe. Over the course of the last couple of years, she has been relentless in hustling us to try and get the model set up there. She's got a university on board who we spoke to last night. Rianne doubled up after hosting the show and then had a late night conversation with one of the leaders of the University of Zimbabwe last night. And a couple of schools are lined up. And Saru also walked 30 odd kilometres pregnant to have a meeting with the university. That's how badly she wants to try and be able to bring mentors to kids in Zimbabwe. So we've started a fundraising campaign to try and see if we can pay a salary for Saru. So $15,000 Australian will cover a salary, an average salary for someone in Zimbabwe for a year. We're $7,000 there, and we're going to catch up with Saru on Sunday night. So anything you can kick in to get us towards that $10,000 mark, I'm then probably going to take a punt and just say, yeah, let's go for it. And hopefully we can let her know on Sunday night that we're going to go to Zimbabwe. And then on Monday, we're actually going to do the show for the first time in the African time zone. So it'll be a 5 p.m. show in Australian Eastern Standard Time. And then we'll be going over to the continent of Africa and having some co-hosts there that are working through the show. So it's all happening at the moment in the world of initiative. Let's get into today's show. I'm pumped to have Dom as my co-host. Dom, how are you traveling?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. I'm really excited to be here. It's a real pleasure.
What do you want to learn from today?
Well, pretty much I want to learn just what it takes to have initiative and what that means,
Awesome.
And the type of opportunities that initiative opens up.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's carry that question through as we roll through. Let's jump into the 60-second challenge. So our partner high school for today is Oak Flats High School, and we're stoked to have Angela Byron, the principal, here with us. Angela, how are you?
Great, thanks, Jack. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. You ready to take on the challenge?
Absolutely.
All right. Let's get the clock started. What's your idea of perfect happiness?
Oh, gee, that's a hard one to start with. You know what? Every day I wake up happy to come to work. I love my job. Nothing makes me happier than being at school.
On what occasion are you out of your comfort zone?
Right now, I think I'm not very good at performing on cue in public.
On what occasion do you value rebelliousness?
Oh, I think most of the time. I think really I enjoy being challenged by my staff and by my students. I'm very aware I don't have all the answers, so I think rebelliousness with respect is a good thing.
What's the best question you've ever been asked?
I don't know the answer to that question. Maybe that's the best question I've ever been asked because I don't know the answer.
Bingo. What quality do you most like in puppets?
Did you say puppets?
Uh-huh.
Puppets give me the creeps. No qualities.
I've got 7 of the AIM puppets that are just listening in there, and I feel quite offended about that response, Angela.
I was always frightened of the Muppets.
Yeah, the voices are just they're gone a bit bonkers. Hey, thank you for joining us and being a part of the show. And most importantly, thanks for being such a brilliant educator and turning up every day for kids. And it's a pleasure for us to work with you. So thanks so much.
Thanks, Jack, and thanks for everything AIM does to support our kids. It's absolutely fantastic.
Absolute pleasure. All right, Dom, what score would you give your principal out of 10?
Solid 10, mate. Solid 10.
Solid 10. Right response. Diplomatic. Very, very good. All right, we're going to catch up with a wizard now. We're going to Bree Shaw, who is going to take us on a journey for 180 seconds of wizardry.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bree, and I'm an actor, educator, and fire dweller. I've been fire twirling for over 10 years now. I started as a really young child in my backyard playing with a bamboo stick I just got really bored and I started twirling around my fingers. And then when I was 18, I got my first staff, which is this. And then I started playing with fire for another 2 years. And then I've been doing it professionally at different festivals and bush stuffs for over 2.5, 3 years now. So I'm going to teach you a couple of go-to fire twirling tricks I learnt when I was young, so you can be a wizard too. Let's go. Okay, first thing you need to do if you want to be a fire twirling wizard is you need a wide open space, because you don't want to be hitting no valuables. Now, you want to find a wizard staff that is about your shoulder width, okay? So at your shoulder height. And when you do find your wizard staff, I would recommend a bamboo stick, it's nice and light, or just a bit of driftwood. That's what I learned on. You want to find the middle of your staff, okay? And you're going to hold it closed fist like this. Now we're going to be learning a figure of 8 first. So that's essentially how it sounds. You're just making a figure of 8 with your staff. So you're going to come down by your sides, like this. Nice and slow, keeping a nice firm grip on the middle of your staff. All right, the next thing you're going to learn is a helicopter. So nice and wide out the front, hands in the middle. You're actually going to cross your hands over like that. And what's going to happen is you're going to twirl this around. Your bottom hand is going to come round, going to pick it up, and it's going to drop in. So you're just picking it up over the other one, making like a helicopter. Okay, so once you've mastered your helicopter and your figure of 8, you're going to try and combine them. So take your wizard stick and start with your figure of 8, go around. Essentially, you're going to start becoming like Gandalf, okay? So all the way through, and then you can drop them in your hands, cross your hands over, cross, cross, back with the figure of 8. Oh yeah, just one final thing. Don't set anything alight just yet, okay? It took me over 5 years of practicing every single day before I could feel the confidence or safety to do it alight, okay? So if you want to continue fire twirling and being a practice and practice and practice, okay? Because it's a beautiful thing to do. You're outside, you're twirling around, it's physical, and it looks really, really sick when you do eventually put a light. So practice. And here's me twirling at the first festival of mentoring.
I went to a conference with my dad's partner in Cairns once, and there was a fire twirler there, and they taught me how to fire twirl, and I didn't necessarily follow Bree's advice and was going with live fire as a 10-year-old. It's a really exciting thing to fire twirl. Okay, everybody, let's keep moving. Dom, what did you learn about fire twirling?
That it takes a lot longer than I thought it would to even start twirling around fire. So
yeah, somewhere between 5 years to 5 minutes, and hopefully you have some sort of safety lever along the way as you're building up to it. All right, Let's go into the next segment, which is Imagine the Film. So about 2 weeks ago, we thought it'd be a good idea to launch a feature film. We opened up a Google Doc and we said, all right, everyone, let's write a feature film together. So over the last 2 to 3 weeks, we've had writers coming on. We've been building out the story, and we're about to catch up with our panel now and get into the next segment of writing. And next week will be the last week that we're writing on this feature film. And then we're going to go out and start building relationships with creators around the world to bring it to life and to show what happens when we imagine together.
Most of us love the story of the child who is sidelined by life because of the situation they were born into or the color of their skin, and then one day becomes a champion or a success or a hero. This is the kind of story we hope will inspire marginalized kids to dream big and make their dream come true. But what if we did it differently?
How are we gonna do that?
Flipping the script is about not letting the hand you've been dealt stop you from achieving your goals.
Imagine realizing that you can actually flip the script that's been given to you and start writing your own story.
We have to challenge the norm.
So what if we ask the kids we don't usually hear from, the ones who are sidelined by life, to be our storytellers?
The project Imagine gives us all the power to flip the script.
We invite all of you, all humans everywhere, to join us in a live experiment.
The time for talk been over. It's time for some action.
And there is genuinely no limit to what you can achieve.
There is no limit to any imaginative juices.
Use that kind of like just around the corner idea, so you can bring in technology and ideas or social constructs that don't exist and bring them into this world.
Let's write the next chapter of human history collectively.
Imagine the wealth of stories and ideas just waiting to come into the world. Imagine the new horizons, if we flip the script. Welcome to the Imagine Film Project.
Okay, let's get ready to rumble. Tai Hara, tell us, what does imagination mean to you and what has it meant in your life so far?
Imagination is everything to me, Jacko. It's informed every decision I've made along the way to be where I am today. And I think it's such a vital part to still staying in tune with yourself, your childhood like self, and kind of pushing you forward into whatever venture that may be in life.
Tyson Yunkaporta, thank you for joining us today. We had a question at the top from Dom, just wondering what is initiative and how do you use it? Can you answer that question?
Oh, initiative. Yeah, I think initiative, it's an offshoot of agency. So, you have to be an agent in your world. And agency is a tricky thing to get, especially if you're trapped under a structure that's denying you agency. But yeah, from moment to moment, no matter how oppressive your circumstances, there's always a choice to be made. And there's usually more than one choice. So I tell people to look for the third choice.
Yeah, I love that.
This technology is binary, and it trains us always to just take one or the other, yes or no, agree or don't agree. But I say, nah, there's always a third choice. You look for that third choice, you get your agency back, and that's what initiative is.
My grandfather always used to say that if you can't get through the door, go through the window. If you can't get through the window, go around the back door. If you can't get through the back door, there's a chimney. Being able to, there's always a way and there's always another door. And I agree with you. I think the most fascinating, when people say no, 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 it's the fifth or third or fourth or fifth door, which is generally where the magic is, because that's where people aren't often going. Hey, Rob, tell us a little bit quickly about your world of imagination and how you've been able to keep that alive after you left the period when it was acceptable to have an imagination, which may be somewhere between age 5 through to 15.
Happily, I grew up with parents that didn't mind too much my wacky nature. So the idea of me singing little songs to myself at dinner and hanging around doing odd things was never frowned upon. I think I was actually thinking about what Dominic was talking about, initiative, and then what Tyson was saying. And for me, when I go back to periods of when I've been not showing initiative, like what's inside me that's stopping me. And it's often about being fearful of putting forward an idea and then being laughed at, and people being afraid of looking silly. And then, so I was really interested in, gosh, then how does that play out? And often my response when you're not quite sure why that's going on is to shout at someone or be cynical or I don't care or be cool, when in actual fact, you're just I'm just a bit afraid sometimes. So that initiative question, I look at it and go, okay, so if I don't have, do I have an idea and am I just a bit afraid to put it forward? In which case, that's one thing. Sometimes, though, I just don't have an idea. And in which case, rather than thinking, well, that's silly, I should have an idea, I go, well, maybe I just don't know enough yet. And then it's time to start asking questions and listening. So, there's
a huge barrier point that we have often with this idea of shame and feeling ashamed if we're going to put ourselves out there, what failure looks like. And it's fundamental to the work that we do, stripping back this idea of shame and embracing failure as a mindset. And there's 3 pretty rich ideas that you've all sort of already borrowed into, which we might try and explore as we get into this film project. So here's the lay of the land of where we've landed at the moment with a collection of maybe 30, professional writers, filmmakers, storytellers have joined us. About 150 kids that have been writing, people that have never written before, jumping in and adding to the script as well. So our protagonist is Kim, and Kim is gender fluid, and Kim is 15 years old. Kim has a messy room, a very, very messy bedroom. Dom, have you got a messy bedroom or a clean bedroom? What's your state of your bedroom?
Well, up until yesterday, it was very, very messy. So good thing I had my mum to keep that in check.
Good. Okay, you'll have to a few more years, and you'll have to start doing that yourself, hopefully. So Kim's got a really messy room. Kim scrambles into their bed, lies on the bed, and then a claw comes up, hooks Kim, pulls Kim underneath the bed, and then Kim ends up on a tiny boat in an ocean, and there's 6 islands. The islands become journey spots for Kim to explore their journey. Now, Kim is a bully, and Kim is trying to unlock as we go on this journey what it's meant to be a bully, and they face different challenges along the way as they meet the different islands. On the first island, Kim goes, Wayne Blair's contribution was about burger rings, and it's just had this really permeating roll through the script now. So we've got burger rings featuring all the way through. So Kim goes to the first island. On the first island, Kim sees a student in a playground who grabs burger rings off a small child and starts eating them. And Kim walks up and turns them around and thinks it's maybe that Kim's looking at themselves. Kim looks at the person, it's not them, but then they look down at the little kid, and the little kid is Kim's dad. So it turns out that Kim's dad has been bullied, and we've got a backstory that's building up, which is potentially Kim's dad then bullied Kim, and maybe that's part of the journey. So we're on a quest to try and unlock the baggage of the bully, to work out how to come face to face with the monster of our own inner demons, and how to sort of put a stop on that journey and that challenge and try and come out healed. So that's what's going on. There's a few other moving pieces. So there's Jeff, the alien dog, who's a sidekick. Jeff's from a future. Now the future is like a futuristic world, but it's filled with pastel colors. So that's where Jeff, the alien dog, comes from. And you can put your finger on a ring around Jeff's neck, a sort of burger ring shape, and you can go to the future with Jeff. Jeff is a sidekick with Kim on the journey. And then the final part of the mixer is that we've got the ocean is a musical. So every time we go down into the ocean, there's a musical going on, and then there's a few other moving pieces. So that's the context to our story. Your challenge and opportunity today is to jump in and try and have a crack at writing a section of the film. So Ty, I'd love you to jump into Act 1, Scene 5. And I'd love you to play in the pastel world of the alien dog, Jeff. So take us into the future and get us there. Give us a sense of what that world looks like over the course of 15 odd minutes of writing and exploring. And then Tyson, I think that idea of agency and being an agent is really powerful. So I've just landed you in a spot where there's some stuff that hasn't been filled in yet. So thinking Act 3, Scene 1, you just want to have a play with that idea of agency. Just see where you go, as little or as small notes, or if you want to build out the form, and let's just see what happens with that idea of being an agent and going through door 3. I reckon that's a really cool concept. And then Rob, Act 3, Scene 8. And if you want to have a crack at that barrier to starting, that fear of failure, that concept that you were talking about with initiative, what stops you from moving? And maybe Kim is wrestling, or maybe it's someone else who's sharing us that story, so we can get a sense as to how to overcome that. So try and build on that earlier insight you shared with us. So that's your collective homework. Go off and have some fun, and we're going to have some musicians that are going to perform as we try and write and create, and then we'll swing back along the way and see how you're going. Have fun. Alrighty, Dom, what do you reckon?
I reckon it's going to be very, very interesting to see what our guests come up with.
Yeah, see where they dance to. What would you like to see in a feature film that you haven't seen before?
Well, everything you just listed and more, I guess.
Give me some of the more. What would be some of the more that you'd like to see?
Probably. I don't even know. I don't even know how I could add to that.
By the end of this show, I want one idea that you're going to add to the script. And then afterwards, you get to put your name on it, and then you'll get a credit as an official feature film writer once we finish this thing. All right, let's catch up with Maddie. Maddie Herbert, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you going?
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for joining us today. What does imagination mean to you?
Imagination means that I can follow my dreams, I guess, with music.
Awesome. Well, let's get into those dreams, and it's great for us to be able to have Velvet Bloom join us on Imagination TV. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much for having us. This is our brand new song. It's called Standards. You can find it on Spotify and Apple Music.
Well, seeing you, I'm not seeing you. It's so cruel. I'm conflicted. Don't you take me for a fool? Yeah. See, every time I listen to your words, I get burned. You think by now we surely could have learned. I'm asking if there's a way to help myself, 'cause I don't really want to be with no one else. But you gotta step up to the task, baby. My high standards were set by you. Step up to the task, baby. My high standards won't be falling for you, falling for you, falling for you. Well, seeing you, I've gotta see you. It's a shame when clearly there is only us to blame. When everything's starting to heal, baby, I get burned. You think by now we surely could have learned. I'm asking if there's a way to help myself, 'cause I don't really want to be with no one else. But you gotta step up to the task, baby. My high standards were set by you. Step up to the task, baby. My high standards won't be falling for you, falling for you, falling for you. But you're holding on to me with your heart, so keep holding on to me, yeah. And you're holding on to me with those arms, so keep holding on to me. 'Cause you gotta step up to the task, baby. My high standards were set by you. Step up to the task, baby. My high standards won't be falling for you. Won't be falling for you. Yeah. Won't be falling for you.
Awesome. Awesome.
so
Biggest
much.
round of applause that I can muster from the collective group that are all watching in their homes or wherever they are, or in the schools. And yeah, lots of love coming in from the chat line. We've got Benita saying Velvet Bloom always makes me smile. Katie Adamson saying perfect vibe for a Friday. Tiana Larkin saying what a vibe. So lots of love
that's
coming
so
in.
lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us. We love everything that you do at AIM and Imagination TV. It's so great.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thanks for being with us today.
Of course.
What do you think, Dom?
Yeah, that was really awesome. That's the type of music that I like to study to, so I'll definitely be studying to that. So
yeah, I just kind of lost a sense of where I was, and then I had to snap myself out of it and be like, Jack, you got to remember what happens next on this TV show. It's just really cool to know the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, very, very cool. All right, let's catch up with our next musicians who are wonderful friends of the AIM family. We've got Troy and Dean Brady. How are you guys?
Good, thanks, brother. Hope everyone's well out there in our little isolation zones.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for joining us today and bringing some music to the world.
Mate, absolute pleasure. This I guess the song is about the basically title is There a Way? In spite of everything that's happened over the historically in this country and abroad, it's just highlighting the disparities and how far we've come as a First Nations people to where we are today, and being proud of that.
Take it away, guys. Stage is yours.
Thanks, bro.
These sorry lands, black coffins. Oh, we lay them down to rest. These broken souls of them all gone. Freedom train forgot them then. Is there a way? Is there a way? Oh, is there a way? Is there a way where hate don't exist? Begins to remain. Ooh, there is a way. Change of song, unite us all. System divides, our kids still fall. Crippling words, a happy day. Many hopes there will be change. Is there a way? Is there a way? Oh, is there a way? Is there a way where hate don't exist? Begins to remain.
Many rivers have been crossed. Please don't get me wrong. We've been dancing in the dark. So long to heal our scars. It's true. Oh, is there a way?
Is there a way? Oh, is there a way? Is there a way where hate don't exist? Begins to remain. Ooh. Where hate don't exist, begins to remain. Ooh, there is a way.
Yeah, guys.
Thanks, brother.
That there has to be a way, right? You have to have that attitude every morning and get up and go, yeah, there is a way, because otherwise there's no hope for progress and change. And I think hope fuels it. So thank you guys for reminding us that, yeah, there is a way and there is a path, and yeah, it's so beautiful what you two do as storytellers, and how much you can move people. So thank you for sharing with us today.
Thank you for having us, brother. Really appreciate it.
No, absolute pleasure. Keep doing it. Keep going.
Thank you.
Dom, what's your takeout from that tune?
Yeah, I really connected to the message that those lyrics convey. It's really important to remember that. So, yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, lots of love coming from the chat line as well. Rianne Miller said at the start, goosebumps already. Lots of love, so much love for this. Said Penny. Grace Douglas said those harmonies with lots of S's. So I really like the harmonies. And Benita Milner said so beautiful. INTV's first father-son duo. What a treat. All right, we're getting towards the end of the show. The writers, we've got the pressure on. There's one more song, and we're going to swing back to you. Just wanted to shout out to the Oak Flats High live audience we got with us. So we've got Courtney, Lakia, Angel, Talara, Elise, and Malalai. Angel, I might just say hello to you quickly. How are you going?
Hi, I'm good, thanks.
What year of school are you in?
Oak Flats, I'm in year 11.
Year 11, a couple of years to go. Have you thought about what you're doing over the bridge once you finish up in year 12?
Hopefully start getting acting classes. I really want to be an actor.
Cool. Awesome. Well, go for it. Just don't let anyone tell you can't. And if you put in the work ethic, as Ty might tell you, we'll go back to him at the end, and maybe you can ask him a quick question on how to be a professional actor and how much fun it is dealing with rejection. Ty, we'll come to you a bit later. Are you there, Ty?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of writing, but I can jump back in.
Yeah, sweet. How have you handled rejection and hung in there as an actor along the way?
Yeah, I think for me, it's always been the passion that's driven it a lot more than anything else. I mean, you'd be lying to say that you don't face a lot of rejection as an actor. You're constantly putting yourself out there, but I think that's what I love about it so much, is because once you expose yourself, you really, I don't know, it's the best way to be able to find meaning in your work and to be able to share that with everyone else. But yeah, it definitely is. It's an up and down industry, and it's not something that you walk into and something gets given to you. But I don't think anything in life is, and that's something that I love so much and I value about the industry. And I've learned so many lessons along the way in that way.
Thank you, Tyre, for providing a textbook perfect answer. Now back into your world of pastel, alien dog, and we'll see you at the end of the show. All right, we've got Declan here with us. Declan Ferber-Gillick. Declan, how are you?
Yeah, good, mate. How you going?
Awesome. Hey, thanks for rounding out the show with us today. Really pumped to have you with us. What does the word initiative mean to you in your world?
I think initiative can be the thing that distinguishes from one path of wallowing and accepting one's kind of situation. And I think initiative can be the thing that is like the ignition of a car. It is the kickstart. It's that first choice to say, no, I'm gonna move, and I'm gonna pump this fuel through this vehicle of my body, and I'm gonna take action rather than just sitting dormant.
How do we do that? So there's the ignition of the car. How do we start or kickstart initiative to get us out of those moments of wallowing and to actually start it?
Well, I think that in life that there is times when you have to be prepared to face difficult things and not run away and not kind of like coat them with sugar or whatever, but to say, actually, this is a really difficult thing and I'm going to actually be prepared to face it. And I think that if we're real and we're honest and we stay healthy and true in our spirit and our mind, I think that weathering those periods gives us a sense of meaning. And I think for me, again and again, when I go through these cycles of difficulty, having that meaning and purpose is a place where I draw on my initiative and say, no, I am going to keep going. I'm going to survive. I am going to choose to live in a way that is, dignified and has purpose.
Yeah, the words that we tell ourselves, just those words, I'm going to live in a way that is dignified and has purpose. We can author ourselves. We can tell stories to ourselves, either stories of wallow and despair, or we can start to tell those stories. And they're both challenging, but the yeah, I think the words and how we talk to ourselves is so critical. Hey, you perform as Knomad. I'm going to give you the stage to jump onto Imagination TV with us and bring some music into our world. So thanks for joining us and introducing Knomad on Imagination TV.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
The Australian dream is rooted in racism. It is the very foundation of the dream. It is there at the birth of the nation. It is there, in terra nullius, an empty land, a land for the taking.
Hey, yo, listen up, because they still got it twisted. This country never given up or gifted. We here before these prisons or missions ever existed. Before these white visitors came with their ships and white business. Same ones that came up and framed up the place with borders. Same ones afraid of the changes spawning. White silence, that's white violence. Time to quit, nope, time to call them out. Like trials and bricks, we potent. It's genocide in slow motion. You recognize the whole show broken. Reconcile, get it right. We here on our terms. When will those in power learn we hold tight? From Alice to Redfern, that's right, Burke to the west. Denny to Mully, Jupperbrung and the rest. We here to kick goals, sit tight, grip controls. Won't consider folding, got a mission, got a vision to hold. With one mob, one vision to hold. One mob, one mission, different issues to solve. White fellas still can't solve black problems. You want to work together, back up and let us solve them. With one mob, one vision to hold. One mob, one mission, different issues to solve. Black fellas got each other's backs covered. We already told them, yo. Am I black or white? I'm an Arundel man. Black and white are some words invaders brung to this land. If you think I'm just gonna stand by with covered hands, covered eyes, and there's a couple things you're gonna come to understand. One, stories moving in the country. Every word you utter's doing something, whether you're screaming or mumbling. Two, stories in the places you will go. Listen closely as you move and let the music grow. Ayo, three, paint the walls, paint the cities, paint the bridges, paint for fun, paint for love, paint for the children, paint for business. Four, know yourself, know your history, know your language, know you have attachments, let your elders know you're listening. Five, go back, learn your dances, now do them. Once your elders die, we lose them. Hey, y'all, keep all this mind, we ain't going nowhere. Stay alive, keep breathing, keep resisting the air, yeah. With one mob, one vision of soul, one mob, one mission, different issues to solve, yeah. Black fellas gonna solve black problems. You wanna work together, back up and let us solve them. With one mob, one vision of soul, one mob, one mission, different issues to solve, yeah. Black fellas got each other's backs covered. We told them, we already told them, yeah.
People of law, L-O-R-E, people of music and art and dance and politics, none of it mattered because our rights were extinguished because we were not here according to British law. And when British people looked at us, they saw something subhuman, and if we were human at all, we occupied the lowest rung on civilization.
Yeah, with one mob, one vision of hope, one mob, one mission, different issues to solve. White fellas still can't solve black problems. You want to work together, back up and let us solve them. With one mob, one mission or hope, one mob, one vision, different issues to solve. Yeah, black fellas got each other's backs covered. We told them, we already told them. Shouts to all my mob back home, Central Australia, out on the land. Live down here on Jar Jar Run country. Shouts to all the mob, Coolan country. Shouts to all the elders here on Jara country. Peace out to all the mob around Australia. Shouts to all the ancestors, big love. Stay connected.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I haven't performed that one for a little while. There was I dropped a few lyrics, but I think you got the gist.
Yeah. It's you just have wisdom. I don't know how else to put it. You know, you've just got in all so many of those words there. The weight of our country and the challenges we've got, just you kind of build these skyscrapers of ideas that have really strong roots. And so thank you for being brave enough to talk about complex things and putting words to it so people can understand it. And then I just definitely want to get out and paint walls and cities and bridges, and I just want to paint everything. So let's do that at some point. Awesome, brother. Thanks for joining us on Imagination TV, and keep rocking it, keep forming, keep stepping up every day, and keep backing yourself with that initiative. And yeah, we're big fans of your work and what you do. So thanks so much.
Cool, man. I just give a little shout out as well. Like I'm also a playwright and a spoken word artist and an author, and I got a lot of work published. And you can find my work under Declan Ferbagilic or Knomad. That's Knomad with a K, K-N-O-M-A-D, or under Declan Ferbagilic. So yeah, thanks to everyone. Yeah, awesome. We'll share the links to your work on the chat room as well, so everyone can grab it and follow your stuff. Thanks.
Thanks, cuz. All right, what a bopper of a show. Dom, how you feeling? I'm pumped.
Yeah, I am too, honestly. With that last song we just heard, I feel the songs that we listen to, and there's songs that you really get the message. So like with that, I was getting goosebumps. That was just amazing. So yeah, I really, really like that.
What have you learned about Initiative today so far?
Well, I've learned that it doesn't really take as much as most people would think. If you're in a tough situation, you can't let that get you down. So, I feel like that's important to remember.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to our writers who have been thrown into an impossible imagination challenge and see how they've gone coming out of the imagination world. Tyson, how did you go? Can you tell us your story and what you created?
Yeah, pretty good. I didn't get through all of the rest of the script, so I hope it fits somewhere. But I just wanted to get to the source of the problem and the disconnection that they have, that Kim has. And yeah, so I have her waking up on the beach, sort of washed up and really thirsty. And so they look for the she oak tree so they can see where the fresh water is running under the sand there. And they dig a hole in the sand to get to it, but it fills with this stinking black liquid. And then she hears a voice behind her, did you ask the old people before you did that? And so she turns around, there's one of them little red people there. And it's got like this little grass spear. It says, I might kill you now. And but ends up taking them through what you learn when you move from childhood to adulthood, which they've never had before. And the biggest lesson you learn there, which is you're not special. And ends up taking her through, whispering through to them sorry, I keep saying her, but I want to say them, taking them through all the stages of that. So there's the pain at first of realizing that you're not special, that you're not above others, because that's been causing them to harm other people and trick other people to try and put themselves above. But then also when that fails, they put themselves down inside. They're bullying themselves inside to try and, because they're falling short of this special image they have. So they realize they're not special, but then they come through the next realization, which is, well, no one else is special either. Nobody's above me, and I'm not above anyone else. And then they come to the final realization that, oh, but I belong to something special. We belong to something special. And then they got all this energy, then stand up and call out for the old people and say who they are and where they're from, and then ask if they can have some water. And then they go down, fill in that other well, and they dig a new one, and it's sweet, fresh, clean water there. Drinks it, stands up full of energy, looks up west, up the coast, grabs that driftwood stick they were digging with, and sets off on the next part of the journey.
Perfect.
That was the best I could do.
Yes, perfect. Oh, it's such a isn't that true? And it's true almost in every journey for almost every person in the world, I reckon, is that battle with ego or specialness and then the way you move that is so clever to move from not special to then we're special, like us, and belonging, and really cool. Tyson, it was just a joy to have you today. Thanks for joining us and being a part of it. Unreal. Let's see how the other guys have gone. Tayo, I'll leave you to last. Rob, how did you go with your story?
All right. So my story, we were talking about blocks to initiative. So Kim and Jeff arrive at the island, and for the first time in the film, the island people there ask Kim, where do we go from here? What's our plan? And Kim isn't used to being asked questions like that. And not that Kim doesn't know. Kim thinks they should go this way, but immediately Kim thinks they're making fun of him. It's like, why are you asking me, And so it's not that he doesn't have a plan. It's just in that moment, he doesn't trust the people that he's talking to. Or sorry, they don't trust the people they're talking to. And so Kim is suddenly fearful, and it's like, are you mocking me? And so Kim starts to mock the island people, just saying, "Oh, don't you know? I got an alien dog here that's smarter than you, you idiots." You know, starts to mess around, and then the island people are confused. It's like, man, we were just asking you a question, and Kim's suddenly looks at their faces and their confusion, misreads that confusion as, "You think I'm a bigger idiot than I thought." So he kind of doubles down on that. And then Jeff, the alien dog, suddenly goes, "Whoa, Kim," and then takes Kim. He says, "Mate, I think they're being serious. They actually want to know what you reckon." And then Kim suddenly realizes that's the truth. But instead of then feeling good about it, then suddenly Kim just feels stupid about behaving badly a moment ago. So then Kim's in this crazy place again. It's like, oh, now he knows he wants to say the right answer, but he's too embarrassed about the person that he was 5 minutes ago. So he starts being even more badly. So they become even more badly behaved. And that's at that point, Jeff, the alien dog, realizes, well, we've got to try and cut this out at the moment. And this is where I got to. So I think Jeff, the alien dog, is going to try and be a circuit breaker and do something a bit wacky and a bit goofy to get Kim out of their head and just start being in the moment a little more, so that Kim can get rid of all this extra noise that's stopping them from reading what's actually going on and just being in the place, so that then Kim can access their calm self and be a listener and a communicator rather than this reactive, "What do you think of me? Will you think of this? I think of that." And that's as far as I got. But that was about those blocks to offering ideas.
Yeah, we are such funny creatures, the way we will circle around the stage sometimes, and the stage will be there, and then we're kind of like can be our own worst enemy. I'm one of the biggest brats in the world. I still struggle big time to overcome shame when I get something wrong, and that double down moment where you're like, just shut up and just like accept it, and then you can move. You made a mistake, and oh, that's cool. It's a complex idea which I reckon we can really build on. Rob, thanks for joining us today and being a part of this. Very cool. Tayo, how did we go? Where did you land in Pastel Land, the home of Jeff the alien dog?
Yeah, I don't know if mine has as much narrative as Tyson's and Rob's, but yeah, I kind of started going down a bit of backstory of Jeff the alien dog, and kind of where he came from, that he came from a long lineage of dogs in this magical planet for thousands of years. He lost his father in this once-in-a-century galactic explosion, and that shaped his life. And then he found his little dog mind searching for answers. So he went on this quest to a new world to understand it. He was teleported through a rainbow gateway to Earth, where he finds himself in the ocean listening to this sweet melodies of this musical called You Know the Way. And that's where he met Kim. So anyway, so I pick it up with Kim's relationship with Jeff. He's one of guidance and support to her. He's there as a sounding board to all her discoveries. He's there as a sidekick on her journey, but she also finds lessons from his own dog experiences of the past. And Jeff took the initiative to leave his planet in search of hope. So in this scene, they're on a boat, they're floating at sea, and Kim's left questioning their purpose on this journey. Why are they traveling to all these islands, and how are they finding meaning in what they're discovering? And Jeff is there to show her initiative. He says, initiative is the thing that you do before you're asked to do it. It's something that's self-propelled. It's about stepping into every moment with purpose. It's about being unafraid to fail and put yourself out there. And Kim realizes that Jeff's right. This little random alien dog friend is right. And if they keep going, they will find answers.
Cool, Tayo. Cool. Wrestling with the big and the small. I love the questions in his asking the questions in his alien dog brain is a beautiful idea. Just to be like going into a little dog's brain, and then that travel for hope, the quest for hope, the initiative, and the colors. And then giving us a chance to get the operatic ocean into play with arriving with the opera. Really good. Good on you.
Mind blown.
Thank you for joining us and being a part of the project. We got one more week to finish up this script, and then we're going to get it in the hands of a few writers to polish it up. And then we're offering right now, actually, if you're interested in making films yourself, You can be a first-time starter, or you can be someone who's done it before. On our website, you can get yourself a creator grant. You get one of these hoodies, and you get the chance to make one of the scenes. And then we're going to create a vignette of this feature film, which will be co-created by creatives all around the world, and build a story of us collectively coming together during this time and imagining what's possible. So, yeah, if you want to jump in and get one of those creator opportunities, jump on our website now. Thanks to everyone for being a part of the show today. Dom, thanks so much for co-hosting and being a part of it.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate being here.
My pleasure. Hey, good luck with school. Lots of respect to our Oak Flats crew, to our student audience that joined us today. Angel, good luck with your acting. Thanks to everyone that's tuned in, and we'll catch you all next week for Imagination TV as we round out the week. And it'll be my last week of hosting day in, day out. So I did 41 shows straight until yesterday, which was gnarly. So lots of people got to meet along the way. We have a former Prime Minister, Malcolm Turnbull, joining us on Wednesday, who's going to be in this writing session. So looking forward to seeing what Malcolm can bring to Imagine the film, and a few other, different personalities coming together as we all try and gather around and make sense of the world we've got today, and try and build a fairer world tomorrow, and bring mentors into every kid's life every single day. So thanks for being a part of it. It's been a ripper of a week. Have a good weekend. Look after yourselves. Take care. Be kind to each other, and keep imagining what's possible.